Hello, this is Igoro, host of the Igoro Show, and you are listening to the Steve and Crypto Show. So keep your ears open and your mouth shut.
Hey, welcome to the Steve and Crypto Show, presented by thestevestrout.com. I'm Steve.
I'm Crypto Zoo. Welcome to episode 37 in a row.
37 in a row. I'm surprised we've been able to get this done weekly. This is because I don't know when we started, we were so sporadic and just, every other week or once a month. Once we kind of learned the ropes and figured out what we were doing, we were able to just knock them out. And I think it's been more fun doing it weekly, and it gives us more time to chat with our peeps and try to entertain them and stuff.
It gives us something to look forward to every week. And, hopefully all of you people listening look forward to the show every week. We know we enjoy doing it for you every week.
And of course, if you've been enjoying, for the last few episodes, we mentioned our being nominated for the podcast awards. Just remind you guys, you got till July 31st to get in and vote. Go to podcastawards.com and vote for the Steve and Crypto Show in the entertainment and people's choice categories. So you have till the 31st. And I've been on social media, my birthday's coming. My birthday is on August 6th. So I'm for my birthday, everybody go vote for us. That's what I want for my birthday. So go do that. Go vote for us. And also by the 31st, all our people who I assume enjoy us, go visit our Buy Me a Coffee page, buymeacoffee.com/Steve Crypto. And anybody who contributes before the 31st is going to be entered in a drawing for a great prize pack that we're still putting together. It's going to be pretty cool. And on top of that, we are going to invite you to come on the show and tell us about you, because we want to hear about you. You guys listen to us bullshitting and rambling and talking our nonsense and making fart jokes and all that good stuff.
That's right.
Yeah.
Now it's time for you to steal the mic.
Yeah, we want to hear your fart
This
jokes.
is your show. Sorry, I'm not trying to get too loud. I got my kid on me, on my lap right now, sleeping as we do this. So I gotta, get into that quiet little R&B voice. You listen to the Steve and Crypto Show.
This is the ladies' man. It's a lady.
You guys like comic books?
Yeah, comic books and horror. Anyways, that got a little strange, but it's okay. Hey, and always we like to promote our friends and interesting creators and stuff. And in this episode, we're gonna have our buddy Brian Pierce, who is well known in the Northwest as Captain Slinky. He's the weird lamp guy, so he's gonna tell us a little bit about how he got started in that, and another interesting announcement of an event that he's going to be running. So later on in the episode, we'll run that for you guys. There's been a lot of I mentioned the Buy Me a Coffee page. I'm going to mention it again. buymeacoffee.com/Steve Crypto. Go check it out. Show us some love.
That little plug in there.
Yeah, get it in there again. Yeah, so it's been a pretty interesting week. I guess the Comic-Con at home thing is actually going on right now.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of interesting stuff coming out. They put out the full trailer for the Child's Play series.
I watched it last night.
Looks pretty good. I'm sure you're excited about that. You're the Chucky guy himself. So
yeah. It looks really fun. Of course, they're keeping some of the, the characters we're looking forward to seeing hidden. There's no glimpse of Tiffany in the trailer, no glimpse of little Andy. Well, not little so much anymore, but Andy, Kyle, and Tiffany are all rumored to be a part of the show.
If they showed all that in the trailer, that would kind of
Well, some movies do.
I mean?
Some movies give that shit away, and I'm kind of glad that they're not doing that.
No, it kind of like entices you to actually watch the show more.
Yeah.
Like, ooh, this could happen. When's this gonna? How are they gonna introduce Tiffany? How are they gonna have Aunt? You know what I mean? How?
Yeah.
So it makes you watch it. And where are they? What network is showing it? Is it Sci-Fi?
It's going to be Sci-Fi, and there's one other network actually. I believe there's two networks.
Like USA or something.
USA. Yeah, Sci-Fi and USA, and it's coming out October 12th.
Right. And actually, speaking of Sci-Fi, they released also during the Comic-Con at home, they released a trailer for the Day of the Dead series, which is going to be on Sci-Fi as well. They promoted it in the trailer as an ode to George A. Romero. The zombies and stuff look cool in it. But it felt like, let's do an ode to Romero, but it felt like kind of a there was too many dumb jokes in the trailer. I got kind of stupid. But I mean, it is what it is, I guess. Like, for example, some guy made a comment about it being a waste of $50,000 for a friggin' when they showed a scene with zombies attacking wedding guests. Like, that was kind of corny, but I like a good zombie show. You know what I mean? Like, the market got a little oversaturated for a while with zombie stuff, but I'm cool if they keep it. If they do it right, you know what I mean. If they're good and don't shit on Romero's legacy too much with too many stupid jokes, you know what I mean. Did you watch the trailer for the Day of the Dead series yet?
No, not yet.
Be sure to check that out. It's good. I'll make sure you get a link for it and everything.
Yeah.
What's other good kind of horror related stuff at Comic-Con? They put out a trailer for Dexter season 9. I'm just hoping they make up for the shitty ending of the series. I know you haven't watched it, but I'm sure a lot of horror fans, and I'm sure a few people that listen to us have seen it and are probably disappointed by how they ended it. It's like I am.
Yep.
It's hard. It kills me when there's like a good show and they have a good run and then they just run out of ideas and just end it like garbage.
Hopefully they can come back in and redeem themselves. Do you know if it's the same people, like the same writers and director involved as the previous seasons?
I don't know. I'm sure there might be some people, and I know, of course, some of the cast will be back for it.
Yeah. But you know that the writing team can definitely make a difference. So,
God, yeah.
That's why I'm asking. But
for sure. That's the only thing that I've heard come out of the Comic-Con at home that really interested me. Like, I don't know how much you were paying attention to it or not, but
I missed a lot.
Yeah.
I just was dealing with some birthday stuff, getting ready for the little guy's party, and so I missed most of the news involving that. I basically caught the Child's Play trailer, and that was it.
Yeah, for sure. I get it. It's get busy, and it's kind of hard to keep up on the Comic-Con at home. It's just like, man, I'll just look at it later. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like all these announcements. You're just like, oh, check it out later. And then sometimes you don't check it out later. You forget about it. Like me, I like take notes. If I see something, I'll just like bookmark the news story or something and make a note of it. But other exciting stuff this week. I think last week we mentioned that Kevin Smith is about to start filming Clerks 3.
Yeah. And the new Masters of the Universe Revelation.
That's exactly what I was leading to. It was coming.
You're just putting the bait out.
Putting the bait out. Speaking of him, have you watched it yet?
I did. I watched all 5 episodes, and I'm pretty sure this is just part 1 of the new season.
Oh, there'll be more. Yeah.
Yeah. If you look online on IMDb, there's at least
already a second series. Yeah.
Yeah, there's already like 2 or 3 more episodes listed that are supposed to come out. I'm not sure when exactly, but yeah, that's coming down the pipeline. But the first 5 are cool. I really dug the animation. That was pretty well done.
It looked good. Yeah, they had a good cast of voices. They had a really huge, really well-known cast to do all the voices. Yeah. Mark Hamill as Skeletor was fucking awesome. Right? I was super hyped about Scareglow, Tony Todd.
Yeah,
Scareglow, and like he just had such a good fucking evil sounding voice for that character, and that might have been one of the highlights of it for me.
Yep. The Allstate guy in there doing
I know. I was watching with Ryan, my fiance, and she was like, "That sounds like the insurance guy," and I was like, "Yeah, that's him."
Yep. He was trying to sell insurance to He-Man.
Yeah.
What I got a kick out of, this is kind of like not exactly a deep cut thing, but for people that love animation and people that grew up in the 90s like me, the 90s animated Batman series, the voice of Joker was Mark Hamill, Batman was Kevin Conroy. They're both together again for this show.
Conroy does a voice on this. Yep.
Yeah, it's kind of neat. And honestly, the Skeletor voice is very, very close to Joker.
Yeah, I heard Joker a lot in there. I enjoyed it. It seems like there's a lot of people hating on it, but I've been thinking about that, and I feel like, first of all, I want to say I enjoyed it. It's a good continuation of the show. It's not like a reboot. It's like a continuation of the show as a child. But like I said, I've been thinking about people hating on it. And I find myself guilty of this too. But I think people look for reasons to hate on creators like Kevin Smith.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because it's like, I'm a fan. I'm a big fan of his. You're a big fan of his. I respect him. He's one of the people that inspire me to want to make a podcast. And same with you.
Definitely.
I know the same thing. That's why a lot of it, what brought us together to do the show, was mutual, respect for people like him.
And you hear him talk so much about the podcast game, and just like, hey, he sounds like such an average guy. Like, I can do it. You guys can do it.
Yeah, he's like one of us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's like a voice for us. But like I said, I feel guilty sometimes of getting kind of annoyed with him, because it's like he's involved in everything. It's like, is it like a ego driven thing? Is he like, he just has to be involved in everything, or is it just works out that way? But go ahead.
I kind of think maybe half the time some people might be pitching things to him, being like, hey, you might want to be involved with this, or hey, you should come and do this. And if it's something like Masters of the Universe or something cool that maybe he's kind of into, or something that he feels like would be good to have his name attached to it, then why not? I could see him being like, yeah, of course I'm going to do this.
Yeah, that's like, but like I said, I'm guilty of sometimes being like, fuck, another Kevin Smith thing. Come on.
Yeah.
Take a break, dude.
Yeah.
Like, you fucking almost worked yourself to fucking death. You know what I mean? Like, take a break, take a vacation for a couple years. But no, like, the people hating on it, I think it's kind of dumb. Like, because you think about it, like, he's slightly older than me, so he grew up with a lot of the same stuff like me, like watching Masters of the Universe. And it's like, this isn't already, it's a property that's already developed and has a following. So it's not like he was a fan of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He was a fan. It's not like he's just going to come in and flip the script on the whole thing and make it his own thing. Like, like his movie, he has his own movies. He has his own world that he created. He's not creating this world. He's just showing his love for it and adding to it.
Yep. Same thing he does with the CW shows.
Which is why I think the people hating on it should maybe look at it from that angle.
Yeah.
You know, like I just keep saying bits about just people not liking it, and I'm not even going into why people aren't liking it. I'm not going to take the time to go in and read the reviews just because.
We're not going to spoil that for you yet either, in case you guys haven't watched it.
There's you could definitely see the Kevin Smith flavor in the show. Like he throws in some jokes and kind of, you know, adult themed jokes and like little homages. Like I feel like I'm wondering if there's a scene, like, not to spoil it, I'm assuming most people watched it by now anyways. If not, go watch it. It's good.
If you're listening to us, you probably have.
Yeah. But like the scene with Scareglow that I mentioned with Tila, and there's like the face your fears thing, and it was very reminiscent of the Luke on Empire Strikes Back. And I feel like this is just him fucking Kevin Smith having a nerd boner, like I'm doing He-Man, like I'm gonna just show my nerd boner and love for these other things and pay a little tribute to Star Wars and this and that, or it's either just like a blatant ripoff of of the idea. But I think it's kind of an homage. I feel like this whole project to him is like he wouldn't, if he thought he couldn't do it justice, he wouldn't have taken the project.
Yeah.
It's not
adding.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
I was just gonna say, like I mentioned, like, oh, he got to have his hands in everything. I don't feel like that's the case with this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And you know, adding to what you were saying about, you know, him being a fan, you know, and being a little bit older than you, if any of us were approached magically to be involved with something like this, would you turn it down? You know, you'd be like, hell yeah, I want to be involved. I want to write for this show or whatever, you know, and it's something that you loved watching as a kid or grew up on. You're going to want to be involved too. So yeah, he is involved in a lot of different things, but I mean, he gets to make pretend for a living, and
yeah.
Why not? I mean, that's if that's what he gets to do and he has the time for it.
Exactly. And like most of the projects that he does are his own creations.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean? So it's not like he's just taking this on and let me turn this into a Kevin Smith production. No, it's
right.
He's just showing love. Yeah.
He's the showrunner. He wrote the first episode, but if you pay attention to the credits after that, it's all someone else.
Yeah, they put together a team to do it.
Yeah, so he wrote and produced the first episode with a couple people, and I think he basically oversees everything, you know, makes sure like everything's like the story is going along as it should and whatnot. But it's not all his writing. It's, you know, it's him and a few other people. He probably did help out quite a bit with bringing in the cast, because a lot of them are friends of his. Mark Hamill, obviously, and Jay Muse is the voice of Stinkor.
You knew Muse was going to be involved.
Yeah,
I guess his kid is involved somewhere too. I know. I looked at. She's in the IMDb credits, so I'm not sure what. I don't remember who she voiced, but
I probably said in the last episode that Ralph Garman was going to be involved. He's not. I'm a little surprised about that.
Weird.
He does so many voices and impressions.
You're a liar.
He's great. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry.
Kurt Rosu's a liar. No, I'm just kidding. But I really
was expecting him to be a part of it.
Yeah. But overall, I think it was good, man. I think they did a good job. I felt it was kind of short, but in the short time, they told a good story. It was a good arc.
Yeah.
Which, like, I mean, they could have just released it as a movie, but I think in this case, it does better. It works.
You can pretty much watch it as a movie.
Straight through. That's what I did. Yeah. I just sat down and watched it in a couple hours and was done. But it's like, you know, it just felt like watching the series, but the old series kind of had more episodic rather than an arc like this did. Yeah. But it was cool, man. I loved it. I thought it was great, and I'll probably rewatch it I'm sure there's little bits I missed, and I love his own twist he put on it. So everybody go watch it. If you ain't watched it yet, go watch it.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna watch it again.
If you grew up loving, Masters of the Universe and all that, watch it. But that's on Netflix.
Yep.
Netflix has been hitting pretty good lately with a lot of stuff. Like the Fair Street stuff did really well. People are enjoying that. The Sweet Tooth, people love that. That was fucking great. I finally got around to finishing that. That was a good show. It left me wanting more, which is what a good show should do.
Yeah.
Netflix also, I'm probably going to dive into tonight and start watching is the Movies That Made Us, season 3. I'm a big fan of the work they do. Brian Folkways, the man who runs behind the Nacelle Company, the production company, who does, they produce a lot of stand-up comedy stuff. They do the Toys That Made Us, Toy Store Near You, Movies That Made Us, all that stuff. They're like, dude's busy. Like, somebody I want to bring on the show eventually. Like, we're trying to work out scheduling to make it happen with Brian or somebody from the company. Sooner or later it'll happen, I promise. But because I love what they do. I love all the shows they're putting out. I look forward to them. But like I said, Movies That Made Us, season 3, they got, they telling the story of some more classics like Jurassic Park.
Ghostbusters!
Well, they're not doing Ghostbusters this season. I think they did it in the last season.
Was that the last one?
One of them. But
yeah.
Jurassic Park in this one. Forrest Gump, which is a classic.
Oh, yeah.
I don't get Pretty Woman, but I get, it was big. It was popular for what it was. And of course, I think one of the most influential, great sci-fi comedy fun movies of the 80s, Back to the Future, which is, I don't know what order the episodes are in, but I'm probably going to start with the Back to the Future one just because I'm really excited to watch it, because Back to the Future.
Right. Yeah. No, I'm probably going to watch that one eventually. I mean, I was late to the punch when it came to Back to the Future. But I finally watched it because KP and I were writing a song with that same title. So for a little, influence, I went and watched the movie. But
watch part 1 and 2. You don't need to watch part 3. Part 3 is not.
Yeah. No, I really enjoyed it, like many people do. And another thing that I really enjoy is Fright Rags. And July 28th, Fright Rags is releasing their officially licensed Back to the Future collection, which features 5 brand new t-shirt designs based on the 80s classic and custom knit Doc and Marty socks designed by artist Matthew Skiff. You can grab them this Wednesday, July 28th from frightrags.com, fright-rags.com.
Yes, go to fright-rags.com. Fright Rags has been bringing you the best in horror apparel and accessories since 2003, offering a wide range of products for your favorite creature features, slasher flicks, and cult classics. Some of the collections include John Carpenter's Halloween, Universal Monsters, Night of the Living Dead, which is, I've said a million times, my all-time favorite horror movie, Creepshow, Twin Peaks, Evil Dead, and so many more. And it's all officially licensed and available now or really soon at fright-rags.com. And as always, Steve and Crypto Show listeners get 10% off when they use the code SteveCrypto10 at checkout. That's the number 10, SteveCrypto10 at checkout. Do it, fright-rags.com. Check them out. I love that site. I love the gear. Halloween's coming. Get you some cool spooky t-shirts to wear,
Yeah. I mean, you should have some already, but you can always use more.
Use more. And then use Steve Crypto 10 at checkout and get you a deal.
Right. Let them know we sent you.
But hey, we mentioned we are going to be joined by Captain Slinky to tell us about his weird lamps and the event he's going to be producing really soon. So let's meet him. And we'll be right back.
Slinky, Slinky, everyone wants a Slinky.
gonna get us sued. Shh.
Hey guys, this is Ivana Cadaver, host of Macabre Theater, and you're listening to Steve and Crypto Show. And maybe, just maybe, you guys, Butch and I, aka Eddie Munster, will be joining very, very soon.
Hey, we're on the Steve and Crypto Show, hanging out with one of my favorite people from the Northwest convention scene, my friend Brian Pierce, aka Captain Slinky. He's the man. If you're from Northwest and been to any of the local Comic Cons or nerd shows, and you see the guy with the crazy lamps that are constructed of recycled toys or basically junk, and they become these amazing golden masterpieces of lamps. That's Captain Slinky. And unless there's some imposter Captain Slinky out there, which we'll have to deal with that. But we're here with Captain Slinky. Thank you for hanging out again.
Of course.
And, tell us how you got started doing the lamps, and tell us where people could find the lamps and get all the info on Captain Slinky.
Well, basically, all my life I've been fixing toys. I love, from a very young age, going to garage sales and everything and buying up old broken toys and finding out how to fix them and stuff. And then I would resell them, which was, a lot of fun. Got me into doing conventions and stuff like that. And then one day I ran into an artist online by the name of Ben Riddlebarger, who was making, he does some incredible drawn artwork, but also he does sculpture and everything. And what he had been doing at this point was taking broken toys and broken knickknacks and stuff and putting them together in the weirdest ways, and then spray painting them gold on the base of a lamp. Kind of like you've probably seen the GIF where the Instructables on, like, people will show this really quick image of, oh look, you just take some toys and you glue them onto a lamp from Target, and there you have a lamp that has toys on it, yay, type of thing. But giving it the unifying color of gold, for one thing, is incredible. And then what I decided to do, my own twist, I talked to Ben about this a lot, and he gave me his blessing, because it was something that he was only doing as just a quick project to kind of recharge his creative batteries. And he said, yeah, go ahead, go for it, make them. So my whole thing is I wanted to take broken lamps, broken toys. I wanted all broken stuff. Lamps that people thought weren't working anymore, but really it's just a simple wiring issue. Or at the very least, I can take the whole lamp apart and harvest the guts out of it to make a new lamp out of. So I use that, keeping that out of the landfill. I'm keeping the broken toys that are just mangled. And luckily I live in a neighborhood with a lot of little kids that like to break a lot of toys. So I end up getting a lot of toys brought to my doorstep. And of course I have all my nerd friends that will have like, oh no, I dropped that toy. I can't think of a name of the toy, but like I've had people, on my workbench right now, I've got a broken Bruce Lee statue that was like a cold cast resin type of a thing. That's going to be fun to figure out what it's going to do. So anyways, you take the broken knickknacks, broken toys, you put them together in Island of Misfit Toys ways, where like you're popping the head off of a broken He-Man and sticking it onto Barbie's body, and making her fight a dinosaur that's riding a motorcycle. And then you paint it gold, and you put the right lampshade on that, and all of a sudden it's a lamp that is worthy of grandma's living room. Like you can actually stick one of my lamps in grandma's living room, and no one will notice until someone finally looks at it and goes, is that Barbie with He-Man's head fighting a dinosaur on a motorcycle? And you say, well, yes, Grandma, yes, that is. a Barbie with He-Man's head fighting a dinosaur on a motorcycle. How did you notice it? Because it's amazing to see how well it all blends together.
Yeah.
I'm still having a fun little dream in my head of you like tossing a firecracker into the neighbor's yard, to blow that Spider-Man to bits. Oh, looks like you're not going to need that anymore.
Yeah.
Let me.
You gonna use it? Yeah. That's like when you were like in the cafeteria as a kid, like you're gonna eat that, like you're gonna use it.
Oh no! Someone broke in and broke all your toys. Oh, I'm so sad.
Goodwill won't take them, but I will.
Yeah.
Don't worry, I got your back, man.
Yeah. But yeah, so basically, you take somebody's junk and turn it into a one-of-a-kind piece of art.
Exactly, and it's like our house is like the world's biggest, most awesome Lego set, because nothing is safe from becoming a part of a lamp. It absolutely and because so many people know that I make these now, I'm constantly getting boxes of toys and boxes of broken toys, broken knickknacks, people contacting me at least 2 or 3 times a day going, hey, I've got a broken lamp. You want it? Sure, I'll take it. So I spend a lot of time taking lamps apart and putting them back together. It's so incredible, and it's a whole family affair type of a thing that we'll all gather around the kitchen table that's just piled high with broken toys and stuff, and my kid will go, hey, does this work? And hand me something like, oh, look, it's legless Darkseid riding a kangaroo, and he's got a cowboy hat on. Yeah, that worked. Let's do that. And then we know that we're done with the lamp and it's ready to be painted whenever I start going, and I can't stop giggling.
That's good. That's good. So what's been your personal favorite so far?
Oh, let's see here. Personal favorites of my lamps.
I mean, I'm sure there's a few, but
man, yeah. I mean, always my personal favorite is whatever I'm working on at the moment. And because that's what's sparking the most joy for me. Like, as soon as I have made the lamp, I don't have much attachment to it except for the 3 lamps that I've made. I've made one for my wife, one for my kid, and one for myself. That are just like too sentimental for me. Like the one that I made for my kid is this delicate anime girl in a kimono type of a thing, but she came to me with her arms broken off, so I replaced them with big buff robot arms and gave her a giant anime style gun to be carrying around. And on her other side is her pet dinosaur that is carrying a chainsaw. And that's in gold, and that's beautiful. That's in their room. And for my wife, I made one that we call the Sexy Beast, which is it's one of those super articulated 12-inch G.I. Joe bodies that didn't have a head. So I put a Triceratops head on it, and I've put it into this very seductive pole dancing type of a position around the base of the lamp and in gold. That's very classy. And then the one that I made for myself, which was a Santa Claus snow globe at one point, and I put a little captain's hat on the Santa Claus, and he was missing an arm, so I gave him Optimus Prime's arm. And then I took a bunch of little toys and took like toothpaste caps and stuff and made them into lampshades to put on all these little toys that are all around the Santa who's at his workbench. So it's me making toys. It's my self-portrait lamp.
No, I'm never going to be able to look at a toothpaste cap again without thinking of a little miniature lamp. That's clever. That's good, though. They look like little lampshades.
Little lampshades, right?
Nice. See, that's clever, man. That's good to have that imagination and show it through these pieces. They're art, or you know what I mean? They're awesome.
Thank you
know,
very much. Yeah.
Like I know I've seen you at shows with the lamps, and I don't know how many times I've taken pictures of the lamps and shared them.
Oh, yeah.
You could probably find multiple posts over at thestevestrout.com with pictures of your lamps in there. Like, check this dude's lamps out. Like, they're really cool.
Probably.
And people could see a lot of the lamps that you've sold at CaptainSlinky.com.
Yep, that is correct. CaptainSlinky.com. I have no idea how much longer I have that domain name for, but it's there for what it's worth. Because I find it really hard to sell the lamps online to anyone like outside of the state. I usually do like just local shows and stuff, and I'll do shipping out of the state every once in a while for somebody, but the shipping is just prohibitively expensive.
Yeah.
For something that delicate and of that size, and it's kind of difficult. So all of my online presence stuff is pretty much hey, look, here's a lamp that I'm making. Who wants to call dibs on it? And someone will usually email me and say, I have dibs.
And people can usually see those lamps through Instagram and
Instagram, Facebook. I'm making them live on Twitch every Tuesday and Thursday. But really, just do a search for Captain Slinky. I'm pretty much the only Captain Slinky on any of the social medias, except for Twitch. Somebody else is Captain Slinky there, so I have to be Captain Slinky's Weird Lamps.
Weird Lamps, right?
But it's fun because we always, when I'm doing the Twitch stream, I've got cartoons playing. Very heavily interacting with the chat, and instead of playing video games like the kids do these days, it's just me taking apart lamps and putting lamps together and coming up with crazy ideas and bouncing them off the people in the chat, see how they like it.
That's a good way. It's a good way to be interactive and get ideas to kind of spark the creativity. That's awesome. So everybody go find Captain Slinky on social media, CaptainSlinky.com. Besides the lamps, the art, you took over a local craft show, I guess we call it, called Oddball. Tell us a little about Oddball and how you got involved and what's in store for the future.
Yeah. Well, the Oddball, the Emporium of the Weird, started out actually in Ohio. They still do it in Ohio. All sorts of events for it. It's like a very different type of a craft show. Like, it's not the Eagles Club, Ladies Auxiliary, Christmas Bazaar, where you're just going to find some pot holders and some quilts and stuff like that. This is a special type of a show for the type of vendors that don't fit in at the oddest of people, the type of people that are making dried floral arrangements out of dead bug carcasses, or handmade leather steampunk accessories. You know all those people that you see at your Comic-Con and you go, oh man, that's not comic books and it's not toys, but it's cool. It's a show made up of all those people.
Steve and I have
a bunch of people that don't know any better.
They really are one of a kind.
You'll have a guy who
you got to pick one up.
I kid you not, this is a guy that we actually already have signed up for the show. He does photographs of creepy dolls in creepy situations. Like, it'll be a weird, creepy doll at the end of a dark hallway with a forced perspective. It's terrifying type stuff, and you'll have that guy right next to a person trying to sell vinyl window replacement services. You got people making hand crocheted skulls. You got my weird lamps. It's just so, and we got jugglers, and there's live music, and there's like, this show is going to be my first one of me owning the Oddball. I started doing the Oddball about 6 years ago, which was very close to the beginning of the Oddball here in Washington. And sorry, I got a dry mouth. Yeah. I was in contact with local artist Shauna Marie Duncan, who worked for Funko and is now working for Hasbro. She's like on the head of the design team for the Transformers TCG or something like that.
Right.
At least that was the last thing that I saw of her. But she had found one of my lamps online and had wanted to buy it from me. And I had been just selling them at regular comic book conventions and stuff, like along with the toys that I was fixing for fun. And she said, you should really look into selling these at shows. I said, there isn't any craft show that want these type of things. She said, no, there are a bunch of craft shows that would love exactly this type of thing. Chief amongst them being the Oddmall. And I had never heard of such a thing. So I looked it up and I applied and I got in and I just felt like family in there. And it was absolutely wonderful. And I've always considered the Oddmall to be my home base. I'll do a lot of other shows, but that's the one that I will never miss is the Oddmall. And then the owner of the Oddmall, kind of the one here in Washington State, not the one in Ohio.
Right.
The guy who owned the one here in Washington State during the pandemic just kind of lost his ambition
right.
for running the show anymore. And so he contacted me, wanted to know if I wanted to take it over. And I said, oh, heck yeah. Yeah, I would love to do that. And so I'm picking it up and I'm taking it over. And, the old owner of it wasn't really, I mean, he's a great guy, but he's not as odd as I am. He doesn't have a showman's flair like I do.
Right.
So he was running it pretty much like a regular craft show, only for people that do weird stuff. Whereas I'm going to make it a weird craft show for weird people who are looking for weird things.
Right.
So, yeah. Our first show is going to be November 13th and 14th. So it's like halfway in between Halloween and Black Friday. So it's like, well, let's see. Maybe we'll have, so we're going to offer free pictures. Come on down, get your picture taken with, whatever holiday preferences you like, whatever we're closest to. You can do Santa Claus or the Krampus or Dracula. I don't know. Who do you want your picture with? Type of stuff. And we got jugglers and we got live music. And it's going to be great.
That sounds like a good time to me. And where exactly is the show going to be at?
That is at the Washington State Fairgrounds in Monroe. It is in the, I can never remember the guy's name, but it's in the Livestock Pavilion, building number 600, because it's over 100 different vendors that do this type of stuff. That we're gathered all the way from. Some come down from Canada, others are coming up from Oregon. I think I've even got one person coming from Idaho so far, and that's just so far. I'm still selling booths for it. Right. It's a juried event, so we're not going to get any, oh look, and here's a person selling candles from China or anything like that. It's going to be legit, handcrafted stuff, unless I can trick some people. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. Yeah, so they all come together, and it's over 100 vendors all in one place, food trucks and everything in this giant. I know Livestock Pavilion makes you think that it's a barn,
right? But
it's not a barn; it's a warehouse. It's just named the Livestock Pavilion because the guy that it was dedicated to was they've got a long story about it. And I just say, how about just go with the warehouse? But anyways,
that's how you said the Livestock Pavilion. I was like, ooh, it's gonna be odd smells at the odd mall, but but
hey, weird thing too. The old odd mall took place in a building at the same fairgrounds that was called the Commercial Building, and the Commercial Building was actually a barn.
Okay,
dirt floors, leaky ceiling. Stalls like the booths for people was actually stalls that they were going into that you would keep like a cow in and stuff. I mean, it was cleaned up real nice.
Yeah.
No, nobody complained, but this building's definitely an upgrade.
Well, that's good. So it's upgrading and you're going to add your own flair of of weirdness to it, and I think it's going to be good. People can find the more info on the Oddmall at oddmall.co.
Oh, yep, .co. No M.
No M.
Yeah, the lack of an M means the lack of murder.
Yeah,
sure, that's it. Yep, no M's, no murder.
No M's.
I don't know what you're talking about. Certainly no murder there. What?
I mean, you might as well just drop the usual M and be odd with your website too.
Exactly.
It's odd all around.
The M is silent because it's not there.
Exactly.
We'll figure out, Mark.
Yeah. Hey, well, it sounds like it's going to be a good time, and I know the lamps are awesome. I love it. Everybody go check out his lamps at captainslinky.com. Find out if you're in the Northwest, go to the Oddmall, go to oddmall.co.
Yeah.
And find Captain Slinky online.
Slinky everywhere.
Everywhere. He's everywhere.
Yes, definitely. Well, thank you. Even if I do say so myself. Come to the Oddmall and you'll see like 30 of them that I've made during the pandemic.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, hey, Captain Slinky, thank you for hanging out.
Thank you for having me.
This kind of felt like deja vu.
All over again.
Well, let's do it again. Not today, but we'll do this again sometime soon. Hey, thank you to Captain Slinky for visiting us and telling us about his weird lamps. Those things are fucking cool. He sent me one a while back. It was made from a Frankenstein VHS tape. It's pretty cool, man. But yeah, thanks to Captain Slinky. Before we wrap this episode up, I just want to remind you guys to visit us at buymeacoffee.com/SteveCrypto. If you get in before the 31st and contribute to the show, you are entered in our giveaway. It's going to be kind of a cool mystery prize pack, and we're going to invite you on the show, so do that. Visit our friends at fright-rags.com as well, and go vote for the Steve and Crypto Show in the Podcast Awards. podcastawards.com. And stay tuned. Keep listening. Next week we have a really exciting show, so we will see you soon. Peace.